Hello and what's going on? It's Rich Ryan here from RMR Training. Today we're going to talk about the single most important piece to your Hyrox performance, running. In this video, I'm going to give you 4 different workouts and how you can implement them into your current training structure and why they're important, how they're going to get you better results for Hyrox. Before we get started, a quick plug for our RMR Training App. Within this app, we already have a 12-week training program specifically for running. It's 4 different workouts per week that I'm going to talk about here, just already designed and progressed for you. We have lots of other workouts and programs within the app. So take a look down below, 7-day free trial, then just $14.99 after that. All right, let's talk about running. So the first and probably the most effective running workout that you can do for Hyrox is your aerobic threshold intervals. These intervals would be around your high end zone 3, right below your zone 4, right at that threshold. Once you cross over, you stop working your aerobic system as much and start being a little bit more anaerobic. So the benefit of this is that the event of Hyrox is primarily an aerobic event. Even though it feels really daunting, really hard, feels like you're going really intense on a lot of different places, you're still working at a heart rate zone that you need to be able to sustain for an entire hour. So it has to be aerobic. So working in this aerobic threshold run area allows you to run a little bit faster than what you would run during a Hyrox specifically. So mechanically, you're going to get the advantage of being able to go faster while also hitting the intensity of what it's going to feel like during the race itself. Find this pace, again, high end zone 3, usually like an 8 out of 10 when it comes to your RPE, or a pace that you could hold to race for an entire hour. So that could be between a 10K and a 10 mile, depending on your ability level. But it should be something that feels comfortable but hard, and something that you can continuously hit with short rest. The rest should be about 1/4 of the work rate. So the rest is very short. So right there, you're not going to be able to be that intense and be able to hit these workouts. If you're going too hard and need to rest more, again, you're getting out of that aerobic zone. And Hyrox is an aerobic event. So these workouts, these aerobic threshold workouts, are absolutely the #1 most effective way to become a faster runner. The second most important standalone run workout is kind of like your low end zone 3. So you're going a little slower than your aerobic threshold, and something that we would call kind of aerobic intervals, low end zone 3 pieces. This is going to be more like your half marathon race pace. It's about 70 to 75% of your max heart rate and 90 to 95% of your lactic threshold heart rate. This pace is going to feel a lot more similar to your actual race pace in Hyrox, and that's why this is important. You're going to be able to do a little bit more volume, bigger pieces when it comes to your low end zone 3 than what you're going to be able to do for your aerobic threshold. So it's going to allow you to spend a little bit more time on feet, be much more familiar with how the race should and can feel from a pace perspective. And also, it's just going to allow you to spend more time on your feet and in that aerobic zone, running at a pace that is going to be pretty similar to what you're going to be doing out there on the course. A perfect example for a workout for this would be 3 by mile with 400-meter jog in between. These workouts should be a little bit more continuous and going to be a lot more volume than what you would typically run in your aerobic threshold or anaerobic threshold running workouts. A third and very important part of running for Hyrox is your mechanical efficiency. And basically, this is how well do you move while you are running. Oftentimes, we don't have a great sense of proper running form. We haven't really watched ourselves run. We really never were taught how to run. So taking time within your training block to set aside runs that are specifically designed around how well you run mechanically. So this could be fairly simple and fairly low intensity when it comes to these, what we call mechanical efficiency or mechanical fartlek running. So an example of one of these mechanical running or mechanical fartleks would be running for 2 minutes with absolutely perfect running form, and then taking 2 minutes just to kind of relax and let your mind kind of ease. When you change your running form and improve your mechanical efficiency, it's a lot more of a mental workout than a physical strain. So you're going to want to spend time thinking about how you're running. And this video is not really going to teach you how to run better. There's a lot of ways you can do that, and it's going to be very individualized around who you are as an athlete and your experience. One of the main tips I will give you is that you want to make sure that you're landing with your foot strike is as close to your hip as possible. One of the most common things that we'll see are an overstride and having the foot land further out in front of their hips, not necessarily where you're landing on your foot or what your cadence is or anything really like that. Just making sure that you're not overextended with that stride and that your foot is close to underneath your hips. I would watch some runners that you want to emulate. These could be professional runners, because these could be runners within the sport of Hyrox or DecaFit, and just try to mimic them. It takes time to kind of move like them and record yourself running. And doing these mechanical running workouts during your zone 2 is a great way to become more efficient. The more efficient you become as a runner, the more familiar your body becomes with these positions, the less taxing they will become, the less energy you will need to expend while running. So taking time to practice your run form during your easy zone 2 workouts is a really great and easy way to improve your running for Hyrox. The last piece of a running program that you should put together for Hyrox is your long run. So this is just zone 2 work, and zone 2 work is generally going to be about at 65 to 75% of your max heart rate, 80 to 90% of your lactic threshold heart rate. So this run is going to be fairly easy. I usually call this an RPE between 5 and 6, something that you can go and you can be talking in full sentences. It's not straining. It's not really going to be very intense. It's just spending time on your feet. And this gets overlooked because they're not that fun. And there's other work that can be done in a Hyrox, but they're crucial because it improves your muscular endurance. This event is about your aerobic capacity and your muscular endurance, and that's what the long run does on both ends. If you find yourself cramping at the end of runs, if you are incredibly sore the day after a Hyrox, it's most likely because you're taking on the muscle damage of running on that concrete and you're not ready for it. Keeping the intensity low will allow you to go longer and will allow you to create more muscle damage while running. Running is something that we can become very adapted to, so you need to stretch that longer and longer to get the muscular endurance benefits, whereas something like wall balls or lunges is so intense and so heavy, and the load and the eccentric loading is so great that we become sore and we recover from that much easier from the intensity side of things rather than the longer, slower pieces. But running, you just need to spend time accumulating this muscle damage, which will allow you to become stronger and more resilient during the race itself. Plus, it will up your aerobic capacity in incredible ways and will help you recover better from these harder workouts that you need. So I would recommend aiming for 70 to 90 minutes and building your way up to that 5 minutes at a time. So if you're starting at 45 minutes, go 45 up to 50, 50 up to 55, until you get to about that 70 to 90 minute mark. I don't believe we need to go too much longer than that. And if you're going to go much longer than that, you're going to need to build your frequency and your volume across all of the days. And there's too much to do in Hyrox to just be spending your time running and doing 70, 80, 90 miles per week. So an example of this week would be Monday, I'd work at low end zone 3. Tuesday or Wednesday, I would do a mechanical zone 2. Thursday, I would do high end zone 3 aerobic threshold. And then Saturday, I would do the long run, giving yourself a day of something else in between so that you are able to recover between each run and you're not continuously beating yourself down each time. So there you have it. That is what I recommend doing for your training when it comes to running for your Hyrox. Again, we have a 12-week program already built out for you within the RMR Training App, just $14.99 a month after your 7-day free trial. Check that out down below. If this is information that you like, drop us a comment, hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe so you can get all the newest stuff coming from RMR Training around your Hyrox content. We'll talk to you soon.